We are live. Welcome to the Project Prima broadcast. It's the first Project Prima Google Hangout, and this is something that is hopefully something that we will do every week, maybe even twice or three times a week, depending on how people like it and receive it. And today we have one of my dear, dear friends and also an up-and-coming dancer who is going to give us some insight on what it's like to um, take a year to be either an apprentice or a person who's finished their training but is about to start a company. And we're going to talk about the challenges and meet this wonderful person. So starting off with your name.
Well, my name is Helena Thordal Christensen. Yes, it's really long. And I am 18 tomorrow, which is pretty crazy.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Welcome to adulthood. It is definitely not as fun as you think it would be. But
oh, thanks.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Invitation. So I have a couple of questions for you. So first of all, well, we've now addressed how old you are. So you're going to be 18 tomorrow. And I want to give a little bit of background on you. So where do you currently live now, and what are you doing?
I am living in Seattle, Washington, the rainiest place. Just kidding, it's great. And I am a professional division student at Pacific Northwest Ballet.
So talk to us a little bit about what that means to be in the professional division of Pacific Northwest Ballet. And what are the sort of things you guys get to do daily? Do you get to do performances? Are you paid? What are sort of the challenges, and what are some of the things that you absolutely love about being there?
Okay. Well, when you're a professional division student, you're kind of like half in the company and half in the school. So technically, we have classes every day. A technique class 9:30 to 11, and then either a point class 11 to 12, or a variations or pas de deux class from 11 to 12:30. And except unless we're performing, and we don't have those second classes. But yeah, we have like teachers from the school who teach us every day, and we do all the performances with the school, like we're doing Snow White, and which is the school's performance, and then we do like the end of the year performance with the school. But we also get to perform with the company, because they do very big ballets, like, you know, the classics like Nutcracker, Don Quixote, Swan Lake, and it's like an average size company. It's about 40 to 50 people, so they need more people for those ballets, so we get to perform in the corps. And it's just a great opportunity to kind of get a sense of like the professional life, but you're not quite there yet, but you're right at the brink of like becoming a professional. So you still get the experience of being a professional, but you're still like taking class with the school, so you're still learning in that environment with like teacher and student.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like a nice gateway to becoming a professional. And I just performed about 33 of 39 shows in the Nutcracker last December.
That's incredible. And what kind of roles were you dancing? And what kind of roles were you get to dance in Snow White?
Well, in the Nutcracker, I was performing Snow. I was performing Mom in Party Scene, which was really weird because I was just doing like Clara last year and at home. And I also did two parts in Flowers, because there's like a professional division part where there's 8 girls, and then there's the company members part which is also 8 girls, and I did both parts. I did about 15 shows of the company part, and I did about 15 shows of the school part. So
Wow.
I did
Incredible.
that a lot, and that was amazing. I loved doing the company part because it was so challenging. It was really hard, but you just felt so good afterwards because you made it through, and you're just like, you feel really great because you danced so much in that time, and it's just so fun to dance that much on stage, and it's like kind of like it's a dream just to dance that much, so
So
especially with a company.
how is it for you going from studying all the time to sort of getting all these performance opportunities? And what were sort of some of the difficulties, especially starting out from going to just taking class to all of a sudden having to dance like an adult company member?
It was really hard. I like injured a lot of. I injured, got really injured, but I just danced through it, and I think that's one of the really important lessons is you learn how to dance in pain, especially because you don't want to give up the opportunity, and you don't want to be like that whiny baby like who's just like, I'm injured. So I think I definitely learned how to like figure out if the pain, how bad really was the pain, and I think which was really, I learned it was bad, but it wasn't that bad as I had to stop. So
You
I
had to
think,
learn your limits. You had to learn.
yeah, exactly. You have to learn where your limit is, and
I
I
think.
think that was great. And also, like, especially like with exhaustion, because when from about October, November, we were doing both ballet classes and rehearsals for about 3 hours, and we
Wow.
really got like the sense of like professional life, and it was really hard. It was exhausting. I was so tired at the end of the day, but it was like that you realize like that's what you want. Like you want to feel that exhaustion, and you like get in such good shape, and I don't know. I really liked it.
That's really good. So tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, where you started dancing, what your background is, and we do know that you're in Seattle now, but it'd be really interesting to hear a little bit more about you, where you started from, and what kind of a background you have. Because I know a lot of people who know my story know that I am an American who's dancing in Russia, and that's very strange to some people, but I think that it would be interesting to hear a little about what you do and your point of view on what kind of dance you do.
Well, um, so I'm technically from sunny California. I've lived in Los Angeles since I was 5 till like 17, so a long time. And I love LA. It's just the greatest place. And but I'm also from Denmark. I was born in Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark, and I lived there till I was 5, and I go back every summer. And I love Denmark. It's amazing, and it's just everyone's so chill, and it's a lot different from America, but in a good way. And well, I have like a long like ballet background. I'm not gonna get too into it, but
Chat.
both.
Let's chat about you. I think it'd be really interesting for our viewers to watch um,
Whoa.
about
Um,
watch and see where you are from.
yeah. Well, my mom and aunt were both soloists in City Ballet, but my aunt is 10 years older than my mom, and they were there during like New York City Ballet, and they were there during Balanchine when he was alive. So he made a couple ballets on both of them, and they got like the real Balanchine training like straight from him. And my mom, and then my aunt went on to direct a couple companies in Europe, like La Scala and Zurich Ballet, and my mom joined her eventually, and when she was after City Ballet, she joined her and assisted her, and she worked a lot with Nureyev. And eventually she met my dad, and my dad is 13 years younger than my mom, and so he was born in Denmark, and he trained at the Royal Danish Ballet School till he was 16 when he moved to New York, and he trained at the School of American Ballet. And then he kind of went back to Denmark for a bit, but then he went back to New York, and when he was 19, and he got into the corps of New York City Ballet for about 4 months until he moved with my mom to Seattle to be principals in Pacific Northwest Ballet. And then my dad got a contract with Royal Danish Ballet again and became a soloist there. And my mom was a ballet mistress with Royal Danish Ballet. And then my dad became director of Royal Danish Ballet when he was 33 years old. And my mom was still ballet mistressing. And then eventually they moved to LA. And they wanted to start a company, so they started a company almost 10 years ago. And they created Los Angeles Ballet. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. And before I joined Los Angeles Ballet School, I was at Westside Ballet School from when I was 5 till about 9, and then I trained at Los Angeles Ballet School till about 17. And I also went to a couple summers at the School of American Ballet, and I also did a summer with Central Pennsylvania Youth Ballet. So I'm kind of very Balanchine trained, and I love Balanchine, and I also love like classical ballets too. Like, love it all. But I'm definitely more Balanchine. Like, Balanchine is my forte. So yeah.
So let's have a little bit of fun now. Let's talk about what are some of your favorite roles that you have danced and what you want to do in the future.
Yes. I think my favorite role I danced was last year in the end of the year school performance. We did a section from Serenade by Balanchine, and I performed the Russian Girl in the Russian section, and that was a complete dream come true. Serenade is an incredible ballet, and I just loved performing in it. It was amazing. And I also really loved performing in Flowers and Kent Stoll's Nutcracker, and I also got to perform in like the core of Stars and Stripes, which was really cool too, which is also by George Balanchine. I think some dream roles, obviously, like I would love to do like Juliet from Romeo and Juliet, and like all the Balanchine ballets. Like, I would love to do one of the soloist girls in Concerto Barocco, do like all the roles in Serenade, do like the second movement girl from Symphony in C, Agon, name them. I love it. And
loving that Balanchine.
Loving that Balanchine, but I also would love to do like Swan Queen or, you know, those amazing ballets.
So let's chat about Crazy About Balanchine.
Oh my God! Did you guys see the fourth one? It literally, he does an interview with Abby Stafford. I literally peed myself. It was so funny.
Abby Stafford is a dancer with New York City Ballet. And I include the link of Crazy About Balanchine, which is literally my friend Alex, who
you know him?
is really talented. And
wait, where does he dance? I want to know this.
Sacramento Ballet, and this piece of brilliance is perfect for all of you who are fighting about or love Balanchine Ballet or hate it. It's just perfect.
It's good for either one.
Yeah. So
wait. Did she know? I just want to know. Did Abby Stafford know who he was or not? Do you know?
I don't know. But I think that's
so funny.
It's really, really, really incredible. I'm going to include the link right now so you can become educated about Crazy About Balanchine. So with that in mind, what are some of the differences, in your opinion, between classical ballet and Balanchine?
There's a lot of differences. It's just like different in musicality. Like, Balanchine had a different vision and like certain things and how it should be. And like neither one is wrong, I think. It just depends on like what you like. and like, you know, the way you like to dance, because everyone has their own, you know, everyone's their own person and they like their own way of dancing. And I feel like Balanchine is a lot faster than um, a lot of like Russian or Royal anything. Like he's a lot faster, and they have a lot more like different kinds of like footwork that's a lot different. Like just like sometimes you don't put your heels down all the way, and it's just like a matter of opinion. Like I like it more just because I've grown up with it, obviously, and so, and I like to dance that way, and I've never really been very good at the other kinds of like dancing, like Vaganova or any of that kind. So it's just like I, and also like just small aesthetic things, like just the way you go into a fourth position, the way you do a pas de bourrée, the way you développé, the way your arms are in some positions, and in ballet, his ballets too, like even a variation is a lot different because he's a lot about like the connecting steps between, like a lot of times in classical variations you'll do something and then you'll run to the corner and you'll position and then you'll go across the floor, and a lot of times in Balanchine ballets he'll do a step and then you'll do a step going into the corner, like a lot, and like it's like, and it's be like the hardest step in the whole variation. And so it's just, and I like both ways, like they're both great, and I enjoy dancing both kinds. But, and also in like his potted, like he has a lot of like weird positions that a lot of um people would, like a lot of classical people would think like, oh, that's weird, like why would you put that in there? But it's just kind of like the way he just
So why
have a
would you
different.
say that there's stigma between Balanchine dancers and classical dancers? And what
Well,
are some of the things that can be stereotyped, as our dear friend has um, in in Crazy About Balanchine, which is really a great.
okay, well, I just have to say my favorite part of that video was when he shows the pictures of like hippos, a cartoon of hippos in like tutus, and he goes, "This is American Ballet Theater's production of Swan Lake," and I literally just peed myself. It was so funny. Um, but I don't know, like if you've seen like the second episode, he's like doing really fast tendus, and like the classical people are like really slow, and like I don't know. I think the stigma is like that Balanchine dancers don't really have like a good basic training, I think. And a lot of times like they don't have like maybe the best feet, or like they're just, or like they can't dance slow. But I think that's, and like just like the same opposite for like classical ballet people, like that they can't move fast, or like they can't do, I don't know, just I think like what people don't know is that classical people can do Balanchine, and that's the same thing for Balanchine people. They can also do classical. It just depends on like how actually you are, like
As a
how
dancer,
much effort you're putting into it. Like
and if you're
anyone
listening,
can.
and if you're using all the tools you have, okay.
Exactly.
So I think that one of the things that is really special about what you're doing is someone who's had, you could definitely say, a mixed background, go into a company that is doing a very wide repertoire. So you'll have Don Quixote and you have the Balanchine ballets, and I think that's a very rare opportunity to get to see that wide range of ballets being danced by a certain group of people on one stage, which is actually very rare. And I think that that is something that will really shape you as an artist growing up, because I think it's really important to watch people who are professionals around you and see them interact with the people and the challenges that they're given and how they rise or fall, according to
Yeah.
those things. Because people do fall on stage and it is terrible, but it happens, and it's happened to
Yeah.
me. And I mean, I think we all have our
Everyone
horror
falls.
stories. Yeah. And I think that I want to end our conversation with a game or random facts about Helena.
I don't know. Okay. Are we doing the two truths and a lie? Or
I think that we should hear 3 random facts about you, and then you should tell us where you see yourself in 5 years in a perfect world.
okay, 3 random facts. Um, I am a really big kind of tomboy sometimes. Like I love superheroes and I love like all that kind of stuff. Like Arrow and Flash and are like two of my favorite shows. Cause I grew up with my older brother and we're really close. And when we were growing up, we were also really close, and we always like watched the same shows and played video games together. So I'm such a nerd in that way. Like I like video games, and I like I like having a big recliner couch in my room and watching a giant flat screen TV. It's really funny because my brother just changed my room back home to like a man cave. So, and I actually really liked
Did
it.
you know anything about it?
No, it was a surprise. I got
Oh my
home and I was
goodness.
like, "What
Oh
the
my goodness.
fudge?" Like I literally walked in. I was like, I like,
I don't know how
my
I
dad was videotaping me. My dad videotaped me. It's really nice.
so terrible that they were all in it and you didn't know.
No, yeah, but it's great. I love it. I can do whatever I want with it. Like it's just nice. Like so much better than what I had before. Actually, 'cause I'm not. I'm like,
Who needs a desk?
yeah, who needs a desk? I mean, I'm just finishing school now here anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
I think that's also interesting for young dancers to note that when you are in a high level of dance and ballet, I think that it's really important that you make a decision for yourself. What is your priority? Because going to school, especially in the public school system, I think it can be just extremely taxing and not necessarily worth it, depending on what your goals are.
yeah, I went into homeschooling this year for my senior year just to like make it free for my schedule to be at class at 9:30 in the morning, and I don't regret it. But I also don't regret going to school. Like I loved going. I went to a private school in LA called Crossroads, and but I really liked it because they also were aware of my schedule and they made I had less classes than some people, and I was free from noon on, so I actually had a great schedule then too. But it just depends on like if you're going to like public school and going to school till 3 every day, you should start thinking maybe I should do homeschool or try to get into a private school. It just like depends on
Because public
like where
schools,
you
unfortunately, because in the United States we have a problem with the
definitely.
appreciation of arts, and so I think it's
Yes.
very difficult to really make arts your profession when the system is very much against that. And so I think that you are to be commended for continuing your studies while trying to pursue a professional dance career. So, in 5 years or 10 years, where do you see yourself, and what would you like to have accomplished?
Um, wait, can I just say my 2 facts really quick?
Oh yeah, you gotta tell us that you're 2 more random facts.
Uh, I love all things Disney. um, that is my obsession. Like, if anyone knows me, like, literally, if you say something like about like Peter Pan, let's say, I literally like flip the poop. Like, I am obsessed. And my
Like
third
the
one,
Valley.
and my third one is, I love Dylan O'Brien, the actor. He is the Bay. He would just start in the big movie Maze Runner, and he's also from Teen Wolf. And if anybody watches that amazing show, so good. Anyway, yeah, that's 3 facts. Okay, um, so I think 5 years from now, I am. I don't know. I'm really. I'm gonna do another year here at P&B. That's the plan, and I don't know if I'll get into P&B. No one really knows. And it's like honestly not a big deal for me if I don't. I just want to be somewhere in a company where I'm wanted and I'm used and like where they use my strengths. And I'm right now I really don't know where that's going to be. And I don't really like to freak out about it. Like I know I will end up where I'm supposed to be like in my life in every aspect. So I know I'll be where I'm supposed to be, and that's exciting, and I'm ready for it. And who knows if I'll be in Europe, if I'll be in like a ballet company there, or if I'll be somewhere in the States, if it's a big company or if it's a small one. I'm gonna be happy where I dance the most and where I get the most opportunities eventually. And I think of course like the dream is to always become like I hopefully in 5 years I will be on either a soloist or on the brink of becoming one, but I don't know. Everyone always ends up where they're supposed to.
I
So
think that is so wise because so many dancers your age, and especially when I was right about to finish my schooling, it was really difficult. I was kept awake by the worries that surrounded about which company I was going to get into, and I think there's such a stigma and so much sort of unnecessary hullabaloo about getting into a big company because so much of what you spend your time doing really isn't actually benefiting you to grow up as an artist. And I think that it's really interesting you brought up a fact um, about dancing, about where you're going to dance the most. And I think that that is a factor that most dancers should sort of apply to themselves. So think about where you're going to be. And to leave off our wonderful conversation, Helena, thank you so much for doing this and being a part. What are 3 tips that you would give to aspiring dancers, professional dancers now, and the things that you use yourself?
I think one of the best things is to never compare yourself to other people because you are, especially in dance, you are around talented people all day. And I think, especially when you watch other people, you're like, why don't I have that? Like, why can't I dance like that? Like, why do sometimes people pay more attention to them? I think one of the most important things is to remember you have your strengths and they have their strengths and you have your weaknesses and they have their weaknesses and you're a completely different person. So you have to just learn from who they are as a dancer to make yourself better, but never to bring yourself down by their dancing. So it's just always remember to like just keep working and keep pushing and just always remember that you are your own dancer and your own person. So I think that's one of like the main things. And always take care of yourself. Like
Health-wise, injuries.
injuries, food, anything. Just always make sure that you come first in that way.
I think
So
that's wonderful. And lastly,
lastly, hmm.
hmm,
Well, I don't know. I think just make sure that you are happy wherever you are. I think that's the most important is to be happy with what you're doing. And if you're in a company or if you're in a school, as long as you are happy there, I think that's the most important.
well, thank you so much, Helena, for being part of our first Prima Project broadcast, and we can continue, and we are open to suggestions, and we hope to have Helena back on the show again. So let me know what you guys want to see, what you want to have. A vlog is going to be up and coming on my YouTube channel, and we're going to start this off with a bang. And thank you so much, Helena. Good luck. All the best to you, and be fierce. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.